What's up, everybody? Pre-Mother's Day. Happy Pre-Mother's Day to everyone. So we got our door on the outside wrapped this morning by my vinyl man. Did a very good job with it. I'm very satisfied. He wrapped it across here back to the brick and even wrapped the front of the door and tucked it in behind this molding here. And the price was right also. So I won't mention his name, but he did do it pro bono. So thanks again. It looks great and I appreciate it again. Let's take you into the living room. So we're here in the living room. I wanted to get here before it got too dark. And all the wallpaper is down and all the backing is down. Thanks to my mom. Love you, Mom. It's a good Mother's Day gift for me. Although I don't need a Mother's Day gift, she does. But she got it all down and then all the backing down. It hadn't been too long gone. So this room is ready to start doing some stuff to it. Maybe upgrading the receptacles, putting the lights in, fan, etc., etc. Let's run back over here to the den, or the dining room. She had started pulling some paper yesterday, and there's a couple things I forgot to tell you guys, so she actually got that paper down yesterday. Then upstairs, I'll walk up there real quick and I'll show you what we got done. So made it upstairs, got the drawers in, woohoo! They look a lot better. Nice and smooth. All right, let's go into the, so we're in the girls' room, got the door hung back up. The wall's been painted, so it's looking mighty good. Just gotta get a good electrician to come in here and get these receptacles in. Get this floor down. That's the only thing we got left. Let's head down to the downstairs bedroom on the main floor. So we're in the downstairs main bedroom, or main floor bedroom. The main thing that happened today is sanding. Oh my God, sanding. So I got all these window trims off and sanded them. And man, it was a job. Got that window trim off, sanded it. That one down there, sanded it. Now, I thought to myself, well, we got to sand it in here, or I can just pop it off. So you'll notice that that one's on, but that one's off. I just took it outside and sanded it. So in this room, all we have left to sand, of course, for the trim would be the baseboards. And then I've got to take those two trims around those two doors off. So still haven't decided if I'm going to, and the chair rail too. Still haven't decided if I'm going to keep the doors or try to sand them. I don't know. I mean, this literally was like probably 4 hours to sand all this stuff. It didn't seem that long, but it probably wasn't long. So in here, Uncle working on the closet. Tried to get this prepped up. We're trying to do it closets first and then come out. So this needs a little more attention. I didn't get a chance. He ground on it pretty good, but he and myself both think we need to get some more down on it. And he ground on that stuff down there pretty good. And you can see just the molding in here. So we just need to put these tracks down so we can actually paint in here like it's supposed to be. We didn't do that upstairs. Probably should have. This has been a learning process as far as the paint goes, because I'm not a painter. I don't know the best route to start at. So while my mom was getting some wallpaper down, I've been cutting holes for my lights. So you can see here that I've got holes in the ceiling for my lights. Now the lights themselves will be the 6-inch recess can that'll go in there. I'll try to pull one out and show it to you in a minute. I don't forget. Now this hole right here is a little bit concerning. When I drilled that hole, everything looked fine, but when I pulled it out, this is what I was left with, a bunch of wet mess. So that floor somewhere is leaking above there. So that whole back of that ceiling in this corner is wet, even though it hasn't bled through, because you got that plaster on there, and it's like at least a 5/8 sheetrock. It hasn't bled through, but that whole corner's wet. That concerns me a little bit, because that probably means that whole corner's wet, and you just don't want issues with mold or mildew or anything like that. So, did talk to the previous owner today. They told me that they had gotten in touch with the roofer and they were supposed to come out Monday, so we'll see. I mean, it may not be the roof, maybe it's something with the vinyl where the roof comes down. I did drill the holes in here for the hall, so they're good to go. I just have to pull the wire to everything. Now, I won't set my cans until I get all my holes drilled, so I'll have to, of course, bring a wire in. I'll probably bring it in under the house here, since that's the easiest route. And then when I'll have to pull that paneling down, I'll probably drill it up through the floor here, and then I'll have to knock some kind of hole somewhere in here, and then pull my wire through, and I'll start drilling my holes through the wall to bring the power to my lights and my switches and stuff. So I have a switch here. Not so sure. I'm guessing maybe a switch right here will be fine. Maybe I'll just end up putting this on like a motion switch or something like that. So anyway, I've got to try to get the wire from here up to those lights. And then I've got to get I want to replace that wire. So that should be good. But 2 can lights in the ceiling. Again, that light will come out and I'll put a carbon monoxide detector there. So I've got to get a wire up there for that. But I've also got to get the wires through this room here to get it in here for this room on this side. So I already do have the wire up there, but it has that cloth on it. And it's probably okay. The sheathing on the outside looks kind of bad, but the actual installation on the wires itself is pretty fine. But the problem with it to me is a lot of it doesn't have a ground on it. So we found that upstairs the lights were grounded, but none of the receptacles are. So I really just want to get it replaced so I can have that ground in there. Now I drilled the holes in here too. So I'm gonna have at least 2 can lights here. So I just centered them between this opening here. Not the opening, but the wall here. I was gonna do the opening, but I just said, I just do the wall. It'd probably look a little better visually. So it's all about the looks, right? It ain't gotta work, it's just gotta look good. That is a true statement, because if it works and it's ugly, a lot of people will not be satisfied with it. So, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that light there. I don't know, do something with it, but either take it down and put a can or get some kind of fancy higher mounted chandelier or something, I don't know. Eventually we're gonna get rid of that door, get a real fancy front door, set the rest of that house off. Let me see if I can find those can lights real quick. So this is the remodel can here. So what you do is you put a Romex connector on one of these holes here. Just knock it out with your screwdriver and your wires will actually, I can get it stopped, sit there. So I took the cover off. The wires will actually just go through and you'll wire nut your wires together here. The lights just kind of go up in the hole. You know, it just kind of bends and goes up and then sits in the hole flush. Those little black tabs you see hanging off of it, that's what bites down onto the sheetrock or the plaster to keep it into the ceiling. So as you can see, if your plaster around that edge isn't very strong, it could become brittle. So that's why I was telling you in the earlier videos that I like the nail ups better. But to do the nail ups, I'd have to cut some really big holes and do a lot of patching. It's just not worth that. Now these remodel cans, to do one light, it's costing me about $30. And that's not like the install price, that's just the cost of this can plus the LED trim. So the LED trims I'm buying from the local electric supply house are costing me about $20 a piece. And then this can here is costing me about $7. So with my tax and everything, it's about $30 a light. So if you're thinking about doing these, they look great, but they can get very pricey very quickly. So if you're having to hire an electrician to do this, then you're gonna see that the cost is really gonna go up substantially, because this is a lot of work. I mean, I know when you see this video, it's just like, oh, he, 7 minutes, he got all that done. But it took a lot of work to just get these holes marked so I didn't drill into my studs. And then, like I said, you have to get the wire in there, and you try to do it the most you can without actually tearing all the walls all to pieces, because most people don't want to tear their walls all to pieces. Now, one more thing that some of you may be wondering, I am showing you all the inside of the house where we're going to be living at, but don't think that I have not done what I'm supposed to do or done my due diligence. I've got my permits through the city with my business, Providence Electric. So all the electrical and heating and air, make sure if you're doing this kind of work, you're getting your permits or you're getting a licensed person to do it. If you're the homeowner, I think they'll let you pull a permit for it, but all this stuff is all getting permitted. So none of this is just not being permitted. So don't take a risk. When you get it inspected, it kind of gets the liability off of you because they said, hey, it was okay. So I'm gonna take you upstairs real quick and show you that air handler. So got the duct connections on. Me and my helper did this supply here. Then on the return, I was having some issues with it. So I called the guys that made it out here, one of my local HVAC companies, and they came and put it on. I didn't know they were gonna put it on for me, but thank you to them that put it on for me. So it looks good. I gotta insulate this right here. I want to insulate the whole trunk line eventually, probably this winter when it's not 100 degrees up here. But I do want to get up here and seal it. So if you look real closely, you see some mastic tape on there, and I'll try to zoom in. So that silver tape there is mastic. That mastic's about $40 a roll, roughly, but it's well worth it. You seal all your joints, you won't have any air leaks in your ductwork, so we won't have cool air coming up here in this unconditioned space. All right, so this trunk line would have probably cost me close to $4 grand to get built today, because it's all made out of sheet metal. There's no flex involved. There's nothing wrong with flex, but this has like dampers in it and everything. And if somebody were to price this retail, I guarantee you it would be around 35 to 4 grand just for the ductwork. So I was gonna replace it, but it's not insulated on the inside, so I thought to myself, why replace it? Just go on and re-insulate it, tape it up, make it nice. So last thing we got to do for the heat and air is I'm trying to find the most affordable thermostat. Since I have an 18 SEER, I've got to have a dual stage cooling and a 3-stage heating thermostat. So I'm not real big on the electronic stuff, but I'm probably going to go with the Honeywell T10 model. So that has room sensors that can kind of tell you what the temperatures are in some of the rooms. So I kind of like that. Anyway, that's probably what I'll go with. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Mother's Day tomorrow. If you are a mother, happy Mother's Day to you. We will probably not be working. So maybe that's my wife's Mother's Day wish, is that I would be working so I can get the house done. But I probably will take it easy tomorrow and hang out with the family. So I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day, and thanks to all the mothers.